Hello and welcome back to this edition of Daily Actives brought to you by Bootleg Macro. I am Dustin. This is the show where we look at the most active stocks in Yahoo Finance. Now, if you watched any of my videos yesterday, you know that we already covered Lucid. Now, if you see my video, and I hope you go back and watch it, one of my suggestions was to not buy Lucid. It wasn't because I didn't believe that Lucid was a great opportunity. It's that I believed that yesterday Lucid was far too high because the price was already at 313. It was well above, it was well near or near the very top of the range. It was very stretched beyond where it was. If we looked at the type of price movement that we had seen over the previous week or so, you saw on the 17th it was at 312, then it went to 304, then 282, then 313. That is a hell of a ride. Not something you want to sign up for. But if we look at where Lucid is right now, I can't say anything has traditionally changed. Now, if you looked at the previous video from the day before, you probably noticed that this chart looks a little bit different. I now have the daily range as well as a candlestick chart. But the most important thing to me is that I'm seeing a higher high in the range. Like that ultimately is the thing that I'm looking for in something like Lucid. The reason why I want to see a higher high is because that shows me that our probable outcomes are going to be higher than the prices right now. Now, you definitely do not understand what any of this close like coloration means. But if you want to buy something like this, or at least if I want to buy something like this, I'm looking for when the price has a black background and green lettering. Actually, reverse that. Green background, black lettering. That's what you're looking for. That means it's in the middle of the range. So on 7-7, what we can see is that the price was somewhere around here, right? The price was in the middle of the range. So if we go even to the 1 month, that is way, way better to buy in the middle of the range than it is necessarily at the top, especially when it's above the range. I do like to see that it's come back down into the range a little bit, and I do see that some bullishness has continued to return, but I do not necessarily like how high it is right now. But what I like to do when I'm looking at stocks like this, I like to look and see what other stocks are in the sector, because I believe if you're going to be paying attention to a stock like Lucid, something that specifically is a micro cap, you're not really focused on what's going to happen with the individual stock of Lucid itself. You're looking at what is comparable. Now, if we look, yesterday I did cover Neo. I'm pretty sure I said that Neo was the one that I would want to buy if there was anything. The reason why was because Neo and Rivian were much more likely to have a good run ahead of them because of where they were. The range was continuing to break out. I definitely didn't say that. The reason why I wouldn't have said it is because if we look here, we can see that yesterday the price is at 501. Today it's at 492. You're down nearly 2% for the day. Now, the thing that's nice is that, again, you do see a higher high. You do see the trajectory continued bullishness, and you are positive on the 5-day, 15-day, 1 month, 3 month, 6 month, and 1 year. And I do love, I believe what I said yesterday was that I love that we had just seen a flip in the 1 year rolling return inside of Neo, especially if you look at this rolling return on the 1 year, there was not two consecutive days in a row going back all the way to, was there a day? Yeah, there hasn't been a day in over a year where we were two consecutive days in a row where we were seeing a bullish return inside of Neo. That's made me believe that this is going to be a very, very good breakout. Now, if I'm going to go ahead and look at some additional things that we've got going on inside of around like Neo or Lucid, I do like Rivian. Rivian is a hot one. We're going to get to Tesla, boys and girls. I already know you're here for it, but if we look at Rivian, the thing that I like about Rivian, in my opinion, is that it was much more in the middle of its range, right? Like this thing is not necessarily at the very top of the range, which is at 448. It's at 1402, which I think is much more reasonable. Again, we are not necessarily seeing the close with the green background and the black lettering. We are seeing volume come back into a reasonable range, which is nice because you saw that today was only down 71 basis points. I would like to see the trade range continue to come up. I do want to see some higher highs in the range as well. But I do think that for right now, if I was going to buy anything, I would probably pay attention to Neo for the moment. Rivian is starting to look positive, but still negative on the rolling 1 year return, which is kind of ugly. This sector, just in general, I do think is going to have a challenge to it. And this is because if we look at the behemoth here, we're talking about Tesla. Tesla is a consistent bellwether stock. It is a meme stock of all. It might have been the original meme stock, to be honest. Outside of GameStop, this is the original meme stock. This is the dark angel of the market, which is Elon Musk. The man knows how to pump when necessary, but unfortunately, he's being out-pumped by the greatest pumper of all time, Donald J. Trump. The problem that I would see here, if I'm looking at and I'm being truly honest, is that it looks like there's just an anti-trend. Like no one wants to be convicted to buy this stock. Maybe because they're worried that if they do own it, they actually will be convicted. You like that double entendre? I kind of do. But if we're being serious, I see that the top of the range is starting to come down. That's the thing I don't like. The top of the range was at 350 before, 351, 352, 347, now 345. I do not like to see that. The nice thing is that we're seeing that the stock has had a positive return, a 1 day, 5 day, 15 day. I imagine that tomorrow it's going to be down just because if we're going to look and be honest about what we're seeing in Tesla today, Tesla missed earnings. I don't know if that really matters that much. It looks like it's down nearly 5% or 4.5% in the after hours. That's not going to be helpful for the open tomorrow. The thing is, though, is that Tesla has all of the makings of a stock that people love. The only issue that I'm seeing now is that it doesn't have any growth. What the market is hungry for is growth. And if they missed earnings, they missed by certain expectations, we need growth. So he's gonna have to probably going into this quarter and by the middle of September, I guarantee you that this man is gonna have some massive announcement of some huge thing. He's gonna be rolling out robo taxis or some automaton bots or some AI. He's probably gonna buy XAI or SpaceX, something like that, because this man knows how to pump. He knows how to get it up. But the problem is it's being held down. Now, it is still bullish, as you can see on this green on the candlestick chart here. I've added it so you can see when the green lines are there, that means it's bullish. When the red lines are there, that means it's bearish. It's a general way to be able to look at the candlesticks to get an idea of what's going on, but I do not say that I'm convinced necessarily that Tesla, which is the bellwether of this entire sector, which is what we initially started looking at with Lucid, which is the EVs. Right now, the bellwether is having some massive issues. What is going on with GM? GM was up 8.5% today. Let's look at GM real quick. I would normally never look at GM, but since we're here, I kind of want to get an idea of what's going on in this automobile market, especially in this individual sector of what are automobiles. This isn't even an EV, but it's just one of those things. Now, if we go ahead and look, okay. So what I like about this is that first off, it's been bullish for a while. It was nearly at the bottom of the range yesterday at 48. 89. Yeah, see, that's really nice. It was at the bottom of the range. We saw massive volume come in, and then we saw an 8.6% pop. If you've made it to this point in the video, this is what I'm talking about in terms of why I wouldn't buy it Lucid, Rivian, or Neo yet. Because you see now we have black lettering with the green background. That means we're in the very middle of the range. And this is a very good spot to buy, in my opinion, for the tool that I've built here. We don't see a higher high just yet in the range, but that's got to be coming pretty quick here. We are down at 56.22, which we've had for the past 2 days. I can see the bottom has essentially come up a little bit. We do have a higher low, which is always nice to see. We are positive on the 1 month rolling return. That's very positive. We've just seen some ugly movement in GM. I mean, if we're going to be honest about what this chart looks like, this thing was at $53 a year ago. This thing, or not even a full year ago, like 9 months ago, this thing is still around the same price. I mean, it's essentially gone nowhere, so it's not been any fun to own. But since you're here, I kind of want to show you a couple of other things. This is the premium version of this. If you are looking to use this, or you want to be able to do something in terms of like, you can always use this. There's a free version as well. The free version, you can do a bunch of the same things. Like if I wanted to come in here and I was just gonna be like, let's look at GameStop real quick. It's really easy. You can come in, you get 10 individual trades that you can look at every single day. I gave myself negative 99, so you can see that, but you'll see you'll get 10 per day unless you want to upgrade. Once you upgrade, you'll get the opportunity to be able to use the G20, the crypto, the currencies, today's trades, and the economic forecast stuff. But you will get guaranteed, you're going to be able to see the trade ranges, you're going to see these charts, you're going to get the tables. The nice thing is too is that if you're looking at any stock that you're interested in, you can always kind of like zoom in on it. I wanted to make it, that's why I put the candlestick charts in there, because I thought the trade range is a little tough to see, but I do think the candlesticks make it nice. I still have to work on how we're getting this hover and this pop up here. But the thing that I do like is that if you want to come in and you're like, I'm really curious about what's going on across the world, and I think it's really important to pay attention to what's going on in the world, especially considering that right now the world is very, very bullish. China's bullish, India's bullish. Indonesia's still bearish. I think Japan is on here. Like there's a lot of different opportunities that exist across the entire world right now. And I think it's really useful to be able to look at some of this stuff. I look at macro, I look at the world, I look at sectors. I'm a big fan of using this tool as a way for me to be able to pay attention and kind of track some different things, as well as if I'm looking for something. So like this is a list that I generally just track myself, which is going to be like what I consider to be like a trade radar. You can see the SPY's bullish, the Qs are bullish, the Dow is bullish, small caps are bullish and crushing it. I am loving what I'm seeing. Actually, let's really quickly look at what we've got here in IWN. The reason why I want to pull this up, and I know this video is all about Lucid, but right now we are seeing a complete change that is happening in small cap value. Like, look at we just went positive on the 6 month on small cap value. We're negative on the 1 year, but we are starting to see some changes happening in small caps, and I am here for it, brother. The reason why is because we have not seen any really big moves in small caps in a long time. Like if we go back 5 years, I don't think this data goes back 5 years, but if we go back 5 years to 2022, we're essentially at the exact same price. Like the high is at 179 and we are starting to get up there. Like I love that we are starting to really see some actual changes here in small caps, especially in small cap value. You would not expect it, but I am here for it. The reason why I'm here for it is because I really think that there's going to be some massive opportunity towards the end of the year that we're going to start to see some small cap stuff. And I think that if you start to look at it, you start to use a tool like this, you're really going to start to see some value. But if you want to go ahead, you can always come in and use it for free. All you need to do is sign up with your Google. If you want to be able to use the premium version, it's $20 a month and you get access into crypto, which I think is a really nice tool in my opinion. The reason why is because I do track, I think like 25 different cryptos, even the Trump coin, Fart coin, Avalanche, Stellar, Litecoin, all these different things. The thing that I love about it is that what it's going to do, at least in my opinion, is it's going to give you a really good indication of where the crypto market is, because this is the edge of all risk in the market, especially Bitcoin. Bitcoin, what I love too is, as I mentioned about the green background with the black lettering, this is in the middle of its range. I want to buy things that are in the middle of the range. ETH has been on a fucking tear. Let's just really quickly look at ETH real quick. So I'm going to show you, got to go to crypto. I'll just quickly do a fetch here. The thing that's fascinating to me about ETH, oh, I can get rid of that. The thing that's really fascinating to me about ETH is that ETH has come out of nowhere. This thing has been ripping, an absolute ripper. Like you saw essentially the moves here in the middle of like March, where it was down at like $1,600, $1,500. This thing's up at 35, $3,600. Absolutely bonkers wild in terms of the opportunity that exists right now inside of crypto. You can see it went bullish here. It looks like on the 9th of July. I mean, this video has nothing to do with Lucid anymore. I just want to highlight this because I love what I built. I think you get a lot of value out of it. Again, if you don't want to use the premium version, you can come and use the free version. You're going to get 10 searches a day. You can always add things to your portfolio. Like if I want to add this here, you can see I just added IWN into my portfolio. Click on portfolio. You have the ability to add as many things in your portfolio as you want. So this kind of allows you to get past the 10 individual things every single day. And it just gives you an opportunity to be able to track things. So like then whatever you add is going to go to the bottom. And in my opinion, when I start to look at a portfolio like this, what I'm going to look at, this is how I generally will use this, is first off, I'm going to look for something that's bullish. I want to see something that's generally bullish if I'm going long, which I prefer to go long. I want to look for something that has higher highs in the top of its range. Higher lows are great, but higher highs are really what I'm looking for. And then I want to see something that's a little bit further away from the top of the range. So like lemonade. And I have this color coded right now. So like lemonade is actually a decent stock that I would want to start buying. The only thing is it doesn't have higher highs or higher lows just yet. Let me click on it and see what we get. The reason why that I would use something like this, see, the problem that I'd say is that you're starting to see the range is getting a little tight there. I don't like that the range on Lemonade is coming down, but I do love that it's just sitting in the middle of the range. You can see we've got green background with black lettering. That is a great signal. I want to see it continue to flip positive on the 15-day and the 1 month, but I'm just enjoying what I'm seeing here on Lemonade. This whole video was just about Lucid. It's just about what we're seeing in the EV sector. This is how I kind of cover stuff in the daily actives. I'm gonna make another video for one of the other stocks and review some of the other things. But tell me what you think in the comments below. Are you long? Are you short? Do you like it? Do you love it? Is this even a good review? I did ramble a bunch, and I'm sorry about that, but I do think it was important to show you just how cool I think this actual tool is. I love the double chart. I love the candlestick. I love the range. I think there's so much opportunity here, and the market is just getting frothy, boys. So get prepared. Get your Wall Street bets in because we are going to the moon, boys. By the end of the year, I guarantee people are going to be like, I'm going to the moon. We're starting a new altcoin. I think NFTs are going to be back by the time that we hit 2026 because right now we are seeing the absolute stunners in the market. Okay, I'll talk to you soon.